forces are joining hands to further drive the growth of inclusive digital-first financial services in India. We are honored to welcome our esteemed dignitaries here from Paytm, SBI Card and NPCI. We also extend a warm welcome to our friends from the media and many other dignitaries who have joined us here today. To start things off, let's hear it from Vikrant Bangia, COO Lending at Paytm, and Bikramjit Ghuman, Senior Vice President, Product, Pricing and Cross-Sell SBI Card, as they talk about the partnership between Paytm and SBI Card, and also tell us about the next phase of growth that we are driving together.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, senior dignitaries from NPCI, Paytm, SBI Card, JCB, and members of the media. We launched the Paytm SBI Card in November of 2020. This was one-of-a-kind credit card, which was crafted by both the teams together, and it was meant for the young millennials and a generation which is always online. It is a product that has been crafted to provide a rewarding payment solution to our customers. Since the launch of this product has crossed 50,000 new customers. This was crossed within 1 year of its launch. It has become a very popular credit card for us. 50% of the sourcing for this card comes from tier 2 cities and beyond. So it's very popular in tier 2 cities and upstates. Moreover, we have also observed that the Paytm SBI card has very high engagement rates. The monthly active user for Paytm cards is 60% and above, which is one of the best in the industry. So the engagement has also led to the preference in terms of using this card for spends. The spends on this card are 1.2x of industry, which is one of the best for any co-branded card. Further, 35% of the spends on this product comes from daily engagement categories like utilities, departmental stores and groceries. This again shows that the customer uses this for high frequency purchases, which is again a good thing. The launch of Paytm SBI card on the Rupay platform today builds on a strong relationship with NPCI and Paytm. And with the launch of this new product on the Rupay platform, not only are we going to strengthen the product value proposition and the appeal to customers, especially with the advent of UPI on credit card, which is going to give it a further impetus in terms of spends. Thank you very much. Over to you, Vikrant.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Thanks a lot for joining us today at this big event. I'm here to talk about the value proposition of the card that we are launching. Before we actually get into the value proposition, I just want to spend a few minutes on the objective behind the card. Right? So as you all know, Paytm has a large customer base. These customers are highly digitally savvy and obviously have a strong affinity towards the Paytm platform, which reflects in the spends. The card intends to reward these customers, giving them accelerated cashbacks on the spends that are done on the Paytm, and also build even stronger affinity. So if you get into the details, the card offers 3% cashback on any travel spend that is done on the Paytm platform, 2% cashback on all other spends on Paytm, and 1% cashback straight across all other spends that are done on off-deck, barring a few exceptions that are called out here. Additional benefits for the card is a fuel surcharge waiver, add-on cards, cyber fraud insurance, etc. What comes as a bundled welcome benefit is the Paytm First membership. Now, let me talk about the Paytm First membership. Maybe some of you know about it. Paytm First membership is a bundle of offers and discounts from leading brands in the country. Typically, a customer, if it's uses it at its full throttle, should actually be able to save about 75,000 rupees a year. Now, this membership comes with a charge otherwise, but here in the partnership, if the user opts for this card, this is given free of cost for the first 1 year. So that's a welcome benefit that is coming in here. Not just this, I think pretty soon, and as Bikram also called out, once the UPI railroad is started on this card, the customers will have a very seamless, efficient payment experience on the UPI railroad. So that's in the offing. It's eventually going to come in, and it's being built. And in about a month's time, it should be part of the credit card value proposition. So that's a sum and summary of the value proposition about the card. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vikrant and Bikramjeet. Before we head to our unveiling of the card, let's hear more about the Rupay network and its impact on UPI. Let's welcome Nalin Bansal, Chief of Corporate and FinTech Relationships and Key Initiatives at NPCI.
Good afternoon. I think we're feeling quite speechless, given the fact that one of the largest banks, the largest digital player are coming together and getting Rupay to launch on their partnership. A lot has been talked about the card, the proposition, and I think there is no doubt in our minds this is the choice, and it is going to become the choice of the consumer going forward. For us, I think credit, while for the entirety of the market, and even for organization in general, credit is talked in terms of credit card. We just got some data, some slides we wanted to share with you in terms of what we think of credit. Next slide. Yeah. So if you look at the opportunity, of course, all of us know there are about 85 million credit cards currently issued in the market today. We look at real credit card users, that could be about 40-60% of that, say about 40-50 million. But if you really look at the bureau data, and these are numbers available publicly to everybody, roughly about 200 million consumers are credit active. And actually the base goes all the way up to about 400 million. Now, how do you reach these consumers? Even if you look at India stacked up with other countries in its vicinity and globally, there's a huge opportunity that sits in terms of underserved customers and in terms of unserved customers. We believe that with this proposition now becoming available, coupled with discoverability on UPI, is going to be the next phase of credit card and credit growth in the country. Some numbers, if you look at consumers on UPI, we believe almost 50 to 60% of them would be sitting in this bucket, which is credit active or credit capable, whereas only 3 to 10% are currently using credit cards. So I think there's a huge opportunity for all of us to take this 40, 50, 60 million to roughly about 200 million in the next 2-3 years. Why this proposition? I think there are a lot of problem statements why this is at 40, 60 million and not 200 million or 300 million. So if you look at, the real-time challenges today, if you want to apply for a credit card, it takes a bit of a time. There is a lag to it. People are used to it, but then it's not real time. We really believe with the digital capabilities of Paytm and with the infrastructure that SBI provides, consumers will be now able to get real-time, on-demand credit and start powering it with UPI. So that's really going to be, for us, the primary USP of this proposition. We also believe that the distribution channels, they have evolved from being branches to DSAs. The co-branding arrangements are the next phase of distribution, because the co-brand partner brings that window of opportunity, brings those consumers, especially digitally enabled co-brand partners, and certainly Paytm is one of the largest in that game. And one very important aspect, we all believe card transactions have certain risks attached to them in terms of being used nationally, internationally, with PIN, with OTP. And we all are aware of the tokenization mandate that RBI has introduced over card transactions. This functionality of discoverability of credit on UPI or credit card on UPI actually is secure by design because it inherently tokenizes your card. You can safely share your UPI handle, pay to X number of merchants in the market, and ensure that your mobile transactions are secure. And in the end, I think this is all about democratizing credit. For a country which is running at 1.5 billion population, having just about 40 to 50 million credit consumer is a big gap. And I think these initiatives will help us drive that number and that penetration. Some numbers, I think we've spoken about it, that despite the fact that the credit card industry has grown at 20% CAGR over the last few years, we believe that propositions of such nature, discoverable on UPI, is going to further surpass this growth and, in fact, achieve the cumulative targets that organizations, banks have set up for themselves. We expect this to actually double, as we go along year to year. Hopefully, these will going to be a, very strong driver of issuance of credit card. The next 5 years looks very promising. It's a completely new channel, and like I said, it is being driven by penetration both on the consumer side, being able to give on-demand real-time credit, and on the merchant side, being able to use it over 40, 50 million active merchants on UPI. So in the end, I would just want to say that this is a long-term partnership that we see with SBI Card and Paytm, and with high consumer engagement, revenue generation opportunity, and most importantly, democratizing credit. So thank you.
Thank you, Nalin. All right, everyone, we are now ready for the most awaited moment, the unveil of our new card. Let's welcome on stage Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, founder and CEO, Paytm, Mr. Rama Mohan Rao Amara, Managing Director and CEO, SBI Card, Mr. Girish Buddhiraja, Executive Vice President and Chief Sales and Marketing Officer, SBI Card, Mr. Madhur Deora, Group President and CFO, Paytm, Mr. Bhavesh Gupta, President and COO, Paytm, and Ms. Praveena Rai, Chief Operating Officer, NPCI, for the launch of the card. All right, everyone, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. When you have such esteemed dignitaries on stage, we have to hear more from them. Bhavesh, I would request you to be a moderator and steer this conversation with Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Mr. Rama Mohan Rao Amara, and Ms. Praveena Rai.
Yeah. Hi, Praveena. Please. Bhavesh, your mic.
Yes. Cheers.
Yeah, the other chair. Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Rao, you have Praveena, please come here so that till the time period they're hosting us, few words. And so, first of all, I want Mr. Rao to say something.
Good afternoon, everyone. And it's a wonderful occasion to unveil this card. While we have seen the kind of features of the card, it has become quite popular, and particularly launching it on the Rupay network with the added feature of linking it to the UPI. I think it's going to be the game changer. And I compliment NPCI and Vijay for coming together and for making it happen. It will also be available in real time. While there was a refrain earlier that actually credit card application and getting the card will take a long time, we have built a digital end-to-end digital journey in partnership with Paytm. So it's possible to get the card in real time. So definitely this will ease the pain for the customer in getting the card.
Thank you. Thank you. Praveena, your words.
Yeah, so you've taken over now. So it's a fabulous moment. I think we heard some phenomenal numbers that were presented to us in terms of the opportunity. And thank you very much, sirs, both of you, Vijay and Mr. Ramarao. For us at Rupay, working with the #1 credit card issuer, working with a partner who is the most digitally savvy, driving digitization in India, I think this is a phenomenal opportunity. So we look at this as a golden moment. I think it's going to create magic. The link with UPI, the digital onboarding, the entire digital journey that Paytm will bring to the table on that, we are very excited. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Praveena. Thank you. And I think Sir talked about the best feature. Some of you know that there is a race against time when it is about account opening in banks. They sort of say 1 minute, 2 minutes instantly. But the best part that I can say is that with SBI's technology, what we have been able to deliver is that the credit card can be instantly issued. I mean, this is something impeccable and probably rare in the industry, because customers will be able to get like an onboarding workflow and instantly issued credit card in due course. And then it works on the all UPI acquiring. So phenomenal. Thank you so much, sir, for giving an opportunity. Thank you, Praveena, for supporting it. Incredible. And back to Bhavesh for our...
I think we can speak more if I can request you guys to come over.
Yes.
I'll have a bunch of questions.
You have some seating for us?
Yeah. Wherever comfortable. Vivek,
Yeah, please.
आप आइए. So, Mr. Rao, let me start with you, and I think everybody would love to hear. And congratulations first for 25 years of SBI card as a business. I think it's the only company out there who set up the entire credit card business 25 years ago. Obviously, a lot of people talk about this business today, but what SBI, with its reach, and obviously SBI cards, with its entire focus on building a great product for users in the country, have been able to do is absolutely phenomenal. So our congratulations and compliments. Taking that event forward, I just would like to ask one question. How are you seeing the journey of SBI card over the last 25 years fundamentally transform with the advent of all the technology initiatives that networks, especially NPCI, has been taking, and what you've been taking, which is leading to much better expansion of credit usage and obviously credit card usage in the consumer base that you focus?
Thank you, Bhavesh, and thank you all for complimenting us on the 25th anniversary. I think when I look back, 25 years back when SBI card was set up as a standalone credit card issuer, industry was at a very nascent stage. We never heard about bureaus, we never heard about digitization, we never heard about smartphones and internet penetration. But we had a very broad objective of increasing the penetration and then even competing with the existing players. So I think having the sponsorship of two industry majors like GE and SBI coming together definitely helped in putting a kind of very articulated strategy in terms of how we wanted to grow. We always articulated a well-diversified customer acquisition strategy, created a pan-India customer acquisition infra, partnered with players and brands, the large merchants, for bringing in a kind of good value proposition to the end consumer. And then we always innovated on the product side. So the product innovation helped us in terms of addressing the lifestyle needs of the customer. And lastly, we realized that like this business has to be driven by technology, leveraging analytics, etc. And particularly once the bureaus came into being, and once Aadhaar-based digital KYC is also available, we were able to leverage these things for rapid growth in the customer acquisition as well. So this has given us the heft, this has given us and taken us to the second position in the industry. Of course, as a pure play credit card issuer, we are the largest. So I think credit goes to everyone here. I mean, for the government and regulator for having a very enabling environment, and also credit goes to consumer in terms of becoming much more aware. Particularly a tier 2 customer is as savvy as a tier 1 customer. In fact, we are seeing in our acquisition, tier 2 plus towns contribute almost 70% of new card demand. And we have seen in the online spends, e-commerce, etc., 66% or 2/3 of the spends are actually coming from tier 2 plus towns. So there is a big change in the consumer mindset, psychology, and we have been the beneficiary of it. Of course, it gives us the responsibility to continue to innovate and work on improving the customer experience.
Thank you, sir. That's actually very inspiring for all of us when we look at a standalone cards company being able to achieve so much and the scale at which you're operating. We're hopeful that this partnership can add maybe a very small percentage to growth. So we really look forward to that, sir. Vinay, let me come to you. We at Paytm have been the forefront of technology innovation, and we've done a lot, and you especially bringing QR codes, bringing wallets to the country, and obviously not championing the cause of merchant side, user side on UPI. In your assessment, our country still needs a lot more penetration to financial inclusion, right? How does the entire ecosystem that you see of UPI and now credit on UPI developing, in your opinion, will drive financial inclusion and further can be accelerated?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm very happy to say that what NPCI has done with Rupay credit card on UPI is a game changer for this country, especially because the cards were facing the problem of acceptance and people were choosing to not use cards because of that reason. The reason the mobile payment took off is because it was ubiquitously accessible for making a payment. And I think what NPCI has done phenomenally well with UPI, in turn UPI QR, is incredible. Rupay credit card riding that is, I think, the game changer here. So when you look at overall financial inclusion, Bhavesh, I'd say that it includes convenience and reach, and it includes ability of running complex financial products on consumer ease. And this is a phenomenal example how NPCI, Rupay, UPI integration of this integration has worked out. I think us and SBI are going to be key beneficiary. Now, SBI is also the champion and the biggest champion of financial inclusion in the country. With SBI card, they are able to issue credit to people who typically have not been able to get it in a spend method. So I believe that this will be one of the big leap. Let's understand here, what I was talking to Mr. Rao in a sort of green room here, their customer care is getting a call that I need Rupay card. I mean, who would I think it's a milestone and we should applaud for Rupay for catapulting it to that level. I don't think that look, the best is that you can say that I want you to take this card and this is a great card, value propositions. And I'm sure you know that different card scheme offer different kind of reward points or something. But when customer sees a value proposition so unique and so scalable, it's phenomenal. And I think this is, Bhavesh, towards the financial inclusion end. Because the customer who's seeking Rupay card is sort of seeking the convenience of digital transaction, convenience of credit, and convenience of mobile payment. And all this phenomenally comes together. So when you look at financial inclusion, the names like SBI, the reach like Paytm, and ability like Rupay, it's a killer combo.
And Vinay, if we can just supplement this point, I think credit cards, and I've been doing this business also for 25 years, and I've seen that it was always a premium product. And when the cards got launched much ago, it used to be tier blue, silver, gold, and became more premium. And what Rupay has been able to achieve is to bring in the acceptability of the product to the masses. And I think that financial inclusion impact with UPI, allowing credit cards to be paid, especially Rupay cards, is going to be a game changer. Terrifically. Pravina, let me ask in you from that point of view. It's been few months that credit card, or Rupay credit card and UPI has just gone live. We obviously, from an acquiring side at Paytm, are seeing very, very large intake of people now creating handles on credit cards on our app. What are your initial signs, and what is making you so excited about this particular revolution or one more revolution, I must say, that NPS has brought to the country, which you believe is going to be a great growth engine for credit and overall growth of UPI in our country?
Thank you very much, Bhavesh. I want to just first start by thanking both, Vijay and yourself. Paytm is always the first off the block in whatever innovation is driven on UPI, both as a UPI app, as well as an acquirer and aggregator in the market. So there's a lot of consultation that goes during the conceptualization exercise, and I want to thank you for the partnership there. And of course, sir, congratulations on 25 years. It's always a pleasure working with SBI cards, along with yourself, Girish, Bikram, and the team. I think they push our limits every time and, really keep us out there in getting the best and driving whatever we need to from an excellence standpoint, be it success rate on a card or be it operational excellence and so on and so forth. So a big thank you to you and the team for the entire effort. I think the first genesis of our big thrust on Rupay credit about 3 years back really happened thanks to the team and support from Girish and so on. And going back to, Bhavesh, what you were asking, I think we are now at a point where Rupay as a card scheme in the country, has reached maturity. So as a debit scheme, we have about 35% of the market. And as a credit scheme, it's about 3 to 4 years back that we told ourselves that unless we are building the stature of Rupay on the credit side, we really can't lay claim to the fact that Rupay is India's indigenous card network. And for that, we really changed gears on credit, and we work on it in sort of 3 dimensions. The first and foremost always for NPCI is the technology dimension. How do we innovate using technology? What do we need to do on the electronic payment gateway rails? What do we do that's specific to the Indian consumer, the user, the requirements of the market locally? And that's really the way we've driven the tech side of things. And the second would be product, right? What does the customer need, and how different is this going to be from every other product? And our intent is not to be another card scheme. We might have started off saying, yes, we need a card scheme for India, but we don't want to remain another card scheme. So that urge to differentiate the customer experience has always been behind whatever we've done on the product side. And then we look at it from a brand standpoint, and we said Rupay needs to be a brand that consumers want, and how do we make it aspirational? And we then took a series of steps in terms of how do we really create the drive for the brand. And really the icing on the cake now is the ability to bring UPI and Rupay together, which creates that democratization that we are talking about. So Rupay debit cards, for example, we issue with 1,060 issuers in the country, and we're very, very proud of that. And probably it's with the advent of Rupay that the debit card world got democratized to that extent. And I think that's the opportunity that's there on credit. Acceptance of credit card across all UPI points, the great experience that a customer has when they link a Rupay credit card to UPI and they are able to seamlessly use it. We keep hearing customers say, I just want to carry my phone, or some of them say, I do just carry my phone. But once in a while they want to pull out their card because it gives them something extra, it gives them some rewards, it gives them some benefits. By now marrying the two, we've really taken that need out. And the third thing, and Nalin alluded to that, is this concept called tokenization, right? So in a regular card world, the card number needs to be secure. We don't want to have any risk, and hence the card number is replaced by a token, and the token travels, and then there's a lot of heavy-duty infrastructure that kind of drives that. And UPI is always about going asset light. Just like instead of the POS machine, you have the light QR. Here, just the UPI ID is the token. So there's nothing more that needs to be done. There's no extra infrastructure system, etc., etc. The moment a Rupay credit card is linked to a UPI ID, it's automatically tokenized. So we see this working on all of these dimensions coming together. And it's going to be very interesting months forward. And I'm sure you will be contributing to most of the ideas that we end up implementing there.
Praveena, I want to congratulate NPCI team for that incredible television ad, which technically I was watching using OTT app on television, so I don't know whether it should be called television or a live screen ad. But that was so impeccable that I think that has generated so much of demand, and we wanted to ride that wave, so launching it now is also because before IPL comes about. I mean, kudos on that campaign also. That's very good recall builder.
No, thank you for your time, Mr. Rao, Vijay, Praveena. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to fulfill the promise that this partnership holds. There's a lot to be done together to build the right product, right scale. And on behalf of Paytm, I can assure that we are all committed. And we so believe that 1 year, 2 years down the line, when we're again taking a stay somewhere, we'll be able to talk about the success of this product. So thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
And back to the comment.
Thank you.
Hey, so I'd just like to sort of,
Sure.
thank the teams here who really put this together, including our partners from JCB, Mr. Mori and Richard and everybody, the SBI cards team, your team from Paytm, and of course we have the Rupay team here from product, and I'll pass on your congratulations to the marketing folks there. So thanks for everyone for bringing us to this day here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. We would now like to open the floor to questions from our friends from the media. We would just request the media to please keep the questions related to the event only.
Or the product. Michael.
So my question is that today you have launched this credit card on UPI, and Madam just said that Paytm was always pioneer taking the first step. So do you think that this credit card linked with UPI will be the next revolution, and Paytm and other want to encash on it?
100%. I think customers have learned mobile payment and maturely understood how it works. So that is why you're seeing ubiquity of acceptance and issuance. In other words, consumers using mobile payments. And adding credit is a logical next step. We've seen it with the fine little bit of private launch or private beta that we've seen. Customers who use credit card on UPI or on using the phone actually use it more often than they used to use it earlier. So it is definitely the next revolution. The critical part here will be to see how many credit cards get linked and how many credit cards with Rupay are issued, which I can see that the partnership with SBI is about ubiquity, the national scale, and partnership with Rupay is that it goes that next extra mile.
And sir, now we've been hearing about again MDR on debit card, Rupay debit card, and maybe on UPI also. So that can also be a advantage for these kind of credit cards?
Well, these are policy decisions. I mean, whichever way they come, we sort of align the business accordingly. So whether advantageous or not, one thing I know is that consumers and merchants are loving it the way it is. Especially important thing to know is small merchants can take 0% MDR of Rupay credit card on this. Actually, this is important to understand. Less than 2,000 rupees is 0%.
But sir,
and I think that will remain long-term committed, right, sir?
Yeah. I think just to clarify, maybe it will help you. I think this MDR was in discussion multiple times. There was a discussion paper in the public domain by RBI. Industry has given the feedback. Subsequently, the linkage of Rupay credit card to UPI was announced. So again, the concept, this topic of MDR was revisited. So it was clarified that up to 2,000 rupees for any transaction done at small merchant, with an annual turnover of up to 20 lakhs. That means any chai wala, roadside, any such small outlet also, without any inhibition can accept the payment through UPI when the actual credit card is linked to the UPI handle. It's not like there is any MDR there. But the other part, that means any transaction done with the same merchant above 2,000 rupees, or any transaction irrespective of any size when it is undertaken at large merchant other than the small merchant, it will continue to have a normal MDR. So that way, on the customer side, it will give the enhanced experience because he need not take out his plastic as well, but at the same time, activation rates, everything will
But
be
sir,
better.
how will the merchant will recognize that the customer who is paying through UPI, it's debit link or credit link? Because that will incentivize or disintensify.
Merchants have a choice to enable, number one, and merchants' apps of QR acquiring carry this detail that this payment is done using bank account or let's say prepaid card or credit card. And merchant have a choice to enable, disable, and enable only for less than 2,000, etc., etc. So companies like us who work on merchant acquiring have consciously taken care of it, that unknowingly merchants don't get charged if they are not willing to. At the same point in time, every merchant gets an advantage of what the beauty it is.
Yes, sir, so just for easy understanding, the merchant को पता चल जाएगा भैया ये जो पेमेंट आ रहा है 2,000 से ज़्यादा है, क्रेडिट वाले से मुझे नहीं लेना भैया, डेबिट से करो. He can say that.
बिल्कुल नहीं, इनफैक्ट से दैट की भी जरूरत नहीं है. वो मर्चेंट अपने ऐप में कॉन्फ़िगर कर सकते हैं कि मेरे को पहला तो ये है कि ही हैज़ टू बी बिलो अ पर्टिकुलर एनुअल रेवेन्यू टर्नओवर, देन ही हैज़ अ चॉइस कि मेरे को सिर्फ 2,000 से नीचे का करिए क्योंकि मैं चार्ज नहीं देना चाहता.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Hi sir, my name is Ankur Mishra. I am representing ET now. You have had a great presentation where you have mentioned that even without this launch of Rupay on UPI, there were numbers which you have displayed. Now I want to know that is there any projection from your side on the future with this Rupay and UPI on board? What is your target, and especially on Paytm's front on path of profitability, how much it will add?
पाथ ऑफ प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी का तो कोई कनेक्शन इससे इसलिए नहीं होगा क्योंकि मटेरियल नहीं है और हमने प्रॉफिट पिछले क्वार्टर में डिलीवर कर दिया है. तो पेटीएम का जो ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट है वो तो पिछले क्वार्टर में डिलीवर्ड है. ये प्रोडक्ट अब लॉन्च कर रहे हैं, सो उसका दो को डिस्कनेक्ट कर देते हैं. एंड देन व्हाट वी कैन से इज दैट वी डू बिलीव दैट मोर देन प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इट सॉल्व्स फॉर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. Look, what is Rupay credit card doing is customers who have Rupay credit card now leveraging the acquiring network and issuing ability of Paytm will be able to do more payment transactions. So I think it is more than profit, it is a excess that we are solving for. What do you think it is solving?
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. I mean, it's the access part. I mean, acceptance-wise, when we look at it, it is 50 million QR codes, UPI QR codes versus a 5 million physical pass which are configured for credit card usage. Almost like a 10 times usage. Second thing is a typical mental block that will be there, like taking out the card only for a high value transaction versus using UPI P2M for a 600, 700 rupee kind of transaction. That distinction will get blurred because now with a credit card linked to the handle, he need not worry. I mean, I'm saying customer need not worry. That way, it's a very, very convenient for the customer, ease of use basically. That is the one.
No, what I wanted to understand, is there any target which you have set in mind?
No.
I think, see, I just want to clarify because we always operate on multiple networks. We operate on Visa, we operate on MasterCard, Amex, as well as Rupay. Ultimately, what type of card is required on which network it is to be issued is the consumer's prerogative, customer's prerogative. So, while the products will be available, the customer will pick and choose which type of card or which network card he wants. That's the reason we shared that feedback, saying like some customers, even before launch of this card, are coming to our customer care center, inquiring about when this card will be available kind.
Also, one last question on the product part. Is there any limit or something which you have sent, or it will be based on customer to customer?
Every customer will have independent limit. Every customer's credit worthiness is individual and unique.
Ask one question each, please, in respect of time.
सर, एकता फ्रॉम जी बिजनेस. मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी, हम कार्ड लॉन्च पर हैं. अब इंटरनेशनल क्रेडिट कार्ड्स पर TCS जो है वो 5 से 20% कर दिया गया है. आपका इस पर क्या टेक होगा?
टेक तो कस्टमर का होगा.
लेकिन फिर भी सर, क्यों कहीं ना कहीं ये डिस्करेज करेगा यूसेज को?
आई थिंक देखिए, अभी तक ये पॉलिसी की डिटेल नुएंसेस पढ़ने के बाद ही कुछ कहा जा सकता है. अभी तो अखबार में ही पढ़ रहे हैं, आपके मीडिया पे ही पढ़ रहे हैं.
Mr. Rao.
Yeah. No, I think as Vijay has said, this is a very, very recent development. My team internally, both legal and compliance, are looking at the fine print and trying to assess what is the impact. And as a regulated entity, whatever needs to be done, we will do. We will comply.
That's what it is.
हाय आई एम राहुल सिंह फ्रॉम हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स. मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे यूपीआई लॉन्च हुआ उसके बाद आप एक देख रहे हैं कि यूपीआई डिजिटल फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन हो गया है. अब एक अर्बन स्पेस से छोड़ के रूरल स्पेस भी डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे आ गया है. तो लेकिन अभी क्रेडिट कार्ड का जो मार्केट है वो एक अर्बन बेस्ड मार्केट था. तो क्या आपको क्या लग रहा है, ये एक अपॉर्चुनिटी प्रेजेंट कर रहा है कि ये आप क्रेडिट कार्ड को रूरल मार्केट में भी लेके जा रहे हो?
बहुत अच्छी बात बोली आपने. इनफैक्ट मेरा ये मानना है कि ये अर्बन अफेयर इसलिए रहा क्रेडिट कार्ड क्योंकि एक्वायरिंग बिग सिटीज़ तक लिमिटेड थी. छोटे शहर में कार्ड मशीन की पहुंचने की मतलब होता है ना कि कौन पहले आएगा, कार्ड मशीन पहले आएगी, कार्ड पहले आएंगे, इसके कैच में रहे. इनफैक्ट कार्ड मशीन्स छोटे शहरों में नहीं पहुंची. इसकी वजह से डेबिट कार्ड भी मोरलेस एटीएम कार्ड कहा जाता था क्योंकि उसका यूज़ ही एटीएम से पैसा निकालने के लिए था. परंतु जिस तरीके से हम क्यूआर यूबिक्विटस देख रहे हैं मोबाइल पेमेंट के लिए, पेटीएम, अब आप देखिए हम कितने शहरों में और कहाँ पे दिखते हैं, तो कस्टमर्स फिर उस पर रुपे क्रेडिट कार्ड यूज़ कर लेगा. इसलिए क्रेडिट कार्ड इशूएंस वहाँ तक जाएगी. SBI डिसाइड करता है कि कौन किस शहर में मिलेगा. SBI का जो नेटवर्क है वो पूरे देश के कोने कोने में है. अब SBI कार्ड की अगर लिमिटेशन भी देखें तो कहाँ तक कार्ड इशू कर सकते हैं, जहाँ पे कोई कस्टमर चाह रहा है. अब कस्टमर चाह भी सकता है और प्राप्त भी कर सकता है. तो ये एक तरीके से आपने बहुत अच्छी
I can give a data point also, Vijay. As I said, like a tier 2 plus town, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 town से नया सोर्सिंग में हमारा एप्लीकेशन से 70%, 70% actually we are getting from the new customers. We are actually getting from tier 2 plus customers. So I think e-commerce has actually during the last few years has actually helped us penetrate. And everybody is adopting or getting onto the UPI rail with like a fish to the water kind. But that's what I can say.
So बिल्कुल सही बोला.
Hello sir, Tanya this side from Business Today Television. First of all, congratulations for this wonderful partnership. My question is, sir, that it's true that Paytm continues to dominate the Indian digital payment space, but how are you planning to increase your market share going forward?
On issuing side, acquiring side?
Yes, sir. Issuing side.
ऑन इशूइंग साइड का मतलब कि आप किस साइड के मार्केट शेयर की बात कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि दो मार्केट शेयर हो जाते हैं पेमेंट में. हाउ मेनी पीपल यूज आवर कंज्यूमर ऐप एंड हाउ मेनी पीपल यूज आवर मर्चेंट सर्विसेज. मर्चेंट सर्विसेज वी डोमिनेट इन दिस कंट्री. मोर नंबर ऑफ मर्चेंट take payment using Paytm technology than any other, if you will. On issuing side, I think we've stayed focused on select much customer base and we are continuously growing. Our public listed company होने का advantage है. You're seeing our numbers quarter on quarter and user on user. We are committed to grow. What we are not chasing is a sort of vanity number, if you will. What we are chasing is a good customer base and we are focused on monetization as you've seen it. So we are consciously bothering about which kind of customers to acquire, which means that market share wise it may not be material, but on a revenue market share it is significantly material.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
सर जस्ट वन लास्ट क्वेश्चन, क्योंकि हमारा बिजनेस टुडे बाजार भी है हिंदी चैनल, तो सर जो रेवेन्यू जनरेशन अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ की आपने बात कही इस पार्टनरशिप के तहत, अगर उस पर आप थोड़ा सा हमें
भवेश आप बताना चाहिए.
नहीं, जैसे विजय ने बोला कि this is important from expandance and distribution financial inclusion. It will add to revenue, but to begin with, it's too early for us to predict. Will it be very largely material? I think let's give it a year. We will be more comfortable to talk about it as the adoption increases.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. We'll just take one last question, please.
Hi, sir. This is Amol here from ETBFSI. I'm heading that portal from Economic Times. My question is in two parts. First is, what is the average cost of customer acquisition specifically for the credit card business now? And second is, considering every bank is coming with multiple co-branded cards, if I'm not wrong, every bank has at least half dozen co-branded cards. The fintechs are also coming with various credit cards. How do you see the market, how do you see the tough competition in market specifically in this space?
I think, see, cost of acquisition, while we haven't given anything in the public domain, I can only talk about the trend over a period of time. In the beginning, I talked about like bureaus being available, now credit bureaus, multiple bureaus are available, digital KYC is wide prevalent. So all these things have actually helped us in terms of streamlining the process of acquiring the customer over a period of time. Talking very particularly about SBI card, we have two channels. One is our partnership with the bank in terms of giving the card to the bank customers, where we even get the data based on the customer consent. After getting the customer consent, there the cost of acquisition is slightly lower as compared to what we acquire directly from the open market. But the way we talked about today, like this card is even available eventually on a real-time basis, one can get through digital means, that cost will be a fraction of the normal cost. So I think cost of acquisitions for every player, particularly for SBI card, they have been trending lower with technology and the digitization of processes.
So I can kind of add a small flavor to that. And I think for us from NPCI, whatever initiative we take, one of the objectives is to really look at making it more efficient, even while the experience is getting better. So if you look at the entire life cycle here of a credit card, right from a customer getting onboarded, this onboarding journey is now increasingly digital. In fact, SBI Cards is a pioneer in that space. There are many other issuers. We offer this on our Rupay site itself. The customer can be then immediately given a virtual card. So the customer does not need to wait to get a physical card. The customer can actually, suppose the customer is on an e-commerce website, the customer immediately gets a virtual card and can activate and utilize the card immediately. So that is again something very precious, because from customer protection standpoint, the Reserve Bank has said that within 30 days, etc., there are some regulations that a card has to get activated. So this actually is going to provide the opportunity for immediate activation. So we're expecting far higher number of cards to become active. The third is staying active and the spend per card. Staying active again means there's more opportunity for use. Today in the broader e-commerce space, UPI has more than 50-60% sort of share of transactions. That entire large sort of space, along with the physical offline, the length and breadth of the country that accepts QRs, now becomes acceptable for continuously the card being active, the spend of that customer increasingly going on the card, customer benefits, merchant benefits, and of course the issuers and the co-brand partners benefit. And then if you take it all the way to the, the sort of running mode of the life cycle, the moment this instrument is now so digital, the opportunity of a product roadmap, that can start with a certain credit line, that can provide surge credit lines, that can, start looking at dynamic opportunities of serving the customer, becomes very, very powerful. So we look at this entire life cycle, which can really, is starting to get reimagined, has already been done so by our partners here, and there is a long more to go.
Wow. Praveena, I'll suggest that we take more questions, because we may not be able to take post-stage questions, so I'm suggesting that we can take more questions here itself. Yeah? 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes? Yeah, okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Rachna from India Today. Firstly, congratulations on the launch. I'd like to start by asking, we're seeing big private banks as well as smaller banks like RBL and Yes Bank coming up with their cards, and they're quite aggressive with their offerings. How is this card different in terms of offering interest rates or penalty charges or renewal charges?
See, I can't comment on other banks, but what we have always done in partnership with SBI and now with Rupay Network, eventually the overall package, what network brings, we as a co-brand partner brings, and the issuer brings, the overall package has to be something which a customer loves, right? So there is the product that my colleague Vikrant Bangia presented. If you look into that piece, it offers platform benefits on Paytm, it offers network benefits on Rupay, and definitely it offers the entire package that SBI has to offer in totality. So it becomes a wonderful proposition for the user. I can suggest from our experience, because we've been in this business with SBI, with other networks, etc., this particular product that we're launching is the most powerful product that we've come out from a Paytm stable in the partnership with SBI.
Sure. You mentioned cross-selling opportunities. There are a lot of benefits for Paytm users with this card.
Yes.
How successful has cross-selling been when it comes to lending products or any other
Not cross-selling. I said there is a leverage of the platform when the user uses this card on Paytm. They're able to get cash back on movies, on travel, etc., which is a benefit of this card.
So do you see any cross-sell opportunities?
No, we don't track this cross-sell opportunity. It's an issuer, which is SBI. They will cross-sell what they have to cross-sell. We have a very clear understanding that this is the product belongs to SBI.
We have cross-sell opportunity for whatever cards we issue, whether it is some additional loan over and above the credit card, or otherwise even like a corporate, we are a corporate agent to general insurance companies as well. So we do offer general insurance. So we do have certain cross-sell opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr.
Yeah.
Rama, hi. Question for you. Can you talk about full profitability, not just adjusted EBITDA profitability? Do you have a timeline on that from a Paytm perspective?
Sorry, we couldn't hear you properly. Could you repeat the question? Sorry for that.
Timeline for full profitability, Mr. Sharma.
Mr. Rama? Are you
this
asking
for
me?
you.
Yeah.
Are you asking
That's
me
right,
or-
sir.
Yeah. What's the question?
Full profitability timeline.
Full profitability meaning?
Cash flow profitability.
I mean, we've said it that this is our near future timeline.
There is no timeline as such. Okay.
I've said near future timeline. I think that is what it is.
Okay. And Ms. Rai, can you talk about interoperability challenges outside of Rupay? How will you consider UPI for credit?
No, I think this is super exciting from an interoperability standpoint, because right now all issuers of credit cards on Rupay can actually use the entire acceptance network created on UPI rails. So I think this is the starting point, the very first little baby step. It's the first product that has really come on UPI, the credit product that has got linked on UPI. Today, UPI as a UPI user, how many of you are UPI users here? That's all? Oh, I'm going to repeat this question. Otherwise, we need like a training program. We need to convert this into a UPI workshop. So, are there people who don't use UPI here?
Yeah, that's a good question.
No, we'll turn the camera back. Okay, sorry, I'm just kidding. But the fact is that, everyone uses UPI. And today they can pay by debiting from a current account, from a savings account, from a PPI account. And this is now the first time scale of credit is being offered on UPI rails. It's very early days. A lot of learning. I think that's what you're hearing from everybody here. There is no number or target and so on and so forth, but we are all very excited about it. We know that we are creating something new and we are on this journey together. And as we progress further, then I think the next steps will evolve from there.
सर एकता फ्रॉम जी बिजनेस सर मैं ये पूछना चाहूँगी कि बहुत सी कंपनीज जो हैं वो आजकल खुद यूपीआई पेमेंट्स अपनी लॉन्च कर रही हैं, जैसे हाल ही में जोमेटो ने आईसीआईसीआई के साथ टाई अप किया. इसका इम्पैक्ट आपके बिजनेस पर क्या पड़ सकता है? और दूसरा मेरा क्वेश्चन ये कि ओएनडीसी नेटवर्क का आपके बिजनेस पे को क्या फ़ायदा मिल सकता है?
Sorry, I didn't understand. Rupay,
So I'm saying that, a lot of companies, they are coming up with their own.
But they launched payment acquiring, meaning on their app they can make payment receiving. How does it impact us? It's a acquiring, ma'am. It means on Zomato app, when you make UPI payment, it is now powered by ICICI Bank. And
So
that
will there be
means
any impact?
it doesn't, I'm sorry, this is an acquiring side relationship, which means that the technology is when consumers are paying on Zomato app, that bank name is now ICICI Bank, which means that consumers can continue to pay on app using bank partner called ICICI. Am I correctly understanding?
Yeah, so there are a plethora of players in the market across all sections of the UPI ecosystem, be it apps, acquirers, merchants, and so on. And I think from an ecosystem standpoint, as well as for the consumer experience opportunity on this product, the more the merrier there. So I don't think we should see this as anything that is adverse, it helps the cause and gets more users into the UPI space. And, of course, Zomato has a large number of customers who use UPI from debit accounts, from credit card accounts, and that flow will now start getting linked onto this card.
And so my next question was, how will you benefit from the ONDC network?
How will we benefit from ONDC network? It'll be a new feature for our customers. But that's it. I mean, customers will be able to use ONDC when feature comes.
So आप ज़्यादा customer base expect कर रहे हैं?
SBI credit card, Rupay.
और सर कोई timeline है सर पेमेंट एग्रीगेटर की एप्लीकेशन
SBI
रीसबमिट
credit
करने के
card,
लिए सर जो
Rupay.
RBI ने आपको दी?
I'm not sure. All right.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope you join us in this journey of revolutionizing credit in India. Please join us for lunch.